Alright, we're back for another vlog. So, this week's been kind of interesting for me. An experience that kind of left me really frustrated. I want to share it with you, and I want you to learn from it. I think a lot of you will, because I don't think a lot of you are gonna fall for the same trap. Now, I think the other week I was at a local bookstore. I was approached by a man, a very nice man, good man, and he talked to me about kind of like the books I was interested in. Didn't know too much about this dude, but he seemed nice. He said that he had some business contacts he might be able to introduce me to, and he wanted to get to know me a little bit more and what I was up to. And I was fine for that, right? So just like how I was creating this channel, I'm open to talking to people about what I'm doing as far as my efforts to write and get out in the community and to do some speaking and to help people and to help teenagers, young adults get jobs and make improvements and get them set for success. And so I figured, yeah, if this guy's interested, sure, I'll talk to him a little bit, and so maybe you can connect me with people that can help me do what I want to do. Long story short, met with him another day, 3 hours, a local coffee shop. We spent a lot of time talking about our goals and dreams, which was fine, but then came the catch, I guess, as far as the conversation goes. I thought he was kind of going to tell me about some people that were doing a business or something, and it turns out that business was a multi-level marketing business. But the interesting part about that, and why I'm making the video about it, is the fact that he wouldn't tell me what that business was. And so I understand that sometimes we may not feel the best about what we do. We may not want to be talking about it. Or sometimes we're given a process to follow to do our jobs. But it's important to realize that the way we go about it matters so very much. You got to be open and honest. And I don't blame the guy who talked to me about the business or sat down with me in the coffee shop for 3 hours, because I think he meant well, and he was just doing what he was taught and told. In fact, I hope that he realizes that there's a better way to go about things than just talking about goals and dreams and then trying to get me to join up on something that I don't know anything about. Needless to say, yes, they were going to explain it further, as they would tell me. So I went today to have a meeting, and what was interesting is I had been told very specifically before that meeting that I needed to be there on time, and I need to be very respectful of these people's time because they're very professional who I was going to meet. And I got there nearly 15 minutes early, and I waited and I waited and I waited, and time came, and 8 minutes after, they all came together and they all dawdled in to this coffee shop where they had arranged to meet with me, and I was good to go. I was ready to leave. Reason being, one, they had already wasted 3 hours of my time. Some would say, yeah, you want to build a relationship with people and you want to get to know people. You can do that in an hour. You can talk to someone for an hour and understand what they're about, and you can share with each other in an hour. I don't need 3 hours in a coffee shop to be led and guided and kind of manipulated. I know that that's not what they felt it was, and that's not what they think of the process they were asked to use in this multi-level marketing company, but that's what it is. And I hope that they can see it for that, and I hope that everybody who tunes into this video can see it as that. Because if you are involved in a business and you don't feel comfortable talking about that business, then you're not in the right business. Plain and simple. If you can't tell me in 3 to 2 minutes, 5 max, what it is you do, why you love it, and if you're trying to get me to join it, why? If you can't do that, then you are in the wrong business. Plain and simple. And if you tell me that that business is moral and ethical, I don't know where you get that idea from. Because if you don't tell me what you're doing and yet say it's great, I don't get your reasoning in that process. Okay, so in life it's very important that we look to these things and we learn from them. So essentially I've learned that I definitely don't want to be doing business like they do. I want to have a business that is upfront with people, that is honest and open, Like, why else would I be going an effort to try and figure out how to vlog and share kind of my journey with the world if I didn't believe that being open and honest and doing my best to share and not hide things is important. I think that's very important to be open and to be more upfront with things. And sure, there's some things that you're not going to always disclose. There's details that don't need to be shared with the public. But when it comes down to it, if you can't share what you're doing with people, then you're not doing much and you're not doing what's right. So I think it's really important that if you have a job and you're trying to hire someone, that you can tell them what that job is, number one, and you can tell them why you're trying to hire them and what that job description is. If you can't tell me that, then why would I be wasting my time trying to work for you? Because it means you already cannot communicate effectively with people. Okay. That being said, the same goes for, when we look into things in life. Everyone needs to do their own research. Everyone needs to figure things out, and that's fair. But we need to realize that if people aren't giving us the upfront, honest answer right away, first time, then they're hiding something. And they will tell you, no, we're not hiding anything. But the truth of it is, and the reality is, yeah, you are. So if someone's not willing to share what they're up to, yet they want you to be a part of it, or whatever. If they're not willing to be open about what's going on, then, what's the deal? You gotta ask those questions, why on earth are you going about things this way? They tell me, oh, we're a very successful business and you could stop working in your early 20s. Wow, that's interesting. Based on what I've heard, I don't think it's going to be adding much value to people's lives. And I want to make sure that whatever I do adds value to people's lives. And quite frankly, if you stop working in your 20s, you've mentally lost it. Sure, everyone wants to live a life. Everyone wants to do what they want to do. But that in and of itself is very dangerous. Because I believe that being active is far better than being passive. Now, what they're trying to tell me is you want to make passive income to generate your wealth. Yes, that's true. That being said, you also want to be an active participant in life. You don't want to be some person who's all for themselves, who just passively sits there, glutting themselves off of other people's money, and doing whatever the heck they want. Does that sound fair? No. And quite frankly, that's living life in not the best way. It's half fulfilled. Life is here to connect with other people and help other people. And it's very selfish to assume, I just want to quit my job and be rich and do whatever the heck I want. Very selfish. What you want to do is you want to build a life where you do what you love, and what you love and you do is part of your business, and it's part of what you do. It's crazy to think that, I just want to quit my job and just do nothing and be rich. Because, quite frankly, that's a shortcut that assures that you're going to cut corners and do things the wrong way. I don't care what business you're in, but if you just think you could just be done with life and just sit on a pile of cash, chances are you're not adding much value to the world, and you're not becoming a better person, you're not connecting with people in a meaningful way, and establishing relationships, and really reaching out and assuring that you're always actively doing things that help other people and that support people. And yeah, it's really crazy to think that some people have some views that they just want to get rich and just kind of end things and be like, you know what, do whatever I want now. And sure, whatever you want is great, right? They have good intentions. That being said, that approach I think is very dangerous, because you limit what you could do, who you could become, the impact you can make, and the way you could live in a way to do more and be more. And you're going to be active, not passive, to do that. So long story short, met some people to do with multi-level marketing. I recommend that if any one of you is ever approached to join a multi-level marketing company, that you look very closely at the process that they use to talk to you, to interact with you, how they treat you. They were very disrespectful today to me. They essentially told me that I would always work a 9 to 5, that I would never be able to figure out how to be financially free and fit, and that I was going to struggle because I didn't know how to create a passive income and to truly learn the things I need to learn to live the life. And you know what? There is more than one way to do things. And quite frankly, what they're talking about, although they said it takes time and training, is about shortcutting things and circumventing things. And although well-intentioned and supposedly there to mentor and to support people along the way, is not truly about helping people build the best life they can, because that doesn't involve getting rich and just doing whatever the heck you want with your life. There's better things and better approaches to take than doing that. So yeah, multi-level marketing is a very interesting thing. I have heard very little good things about multi-level marketing, and some will say, well, that's just your opinion, that is just the things you heard. Well, let's think about it. If most of the things people hear about multi-level marketing are bad, then that means most of multi-level marketing is bad. What would happen if people said, most of the things we've heard about water is bad? Like, well, most people would be concerned about their water, wouldn't they? Now, the same goes for anything. The majority of an opinion or a viewpoint on something should reflect kind of your way of figuring things out. Sure, there's times when the majority is definitely not right. But when it comes to business and finance, you got to be very careful. Very, very careful. So, bring this up with you today because it made me very mad, very frustrated. I'm really kind of sad too, and just really aggravated because I hate to see people going about things in a way that they don't have to. They can do things better. They can do things a better way. And it just kind of makes me frustrated because I just even wasted my time entertaining the idea. I think that people are well-meaning, but I think they've also been manipulated to believe and fall in love with processes that, quite frankly, aren't the best. And in many ways are disrespectful. So watch out for those multi-level marketing scams out there. They're out there, they're real, and they're not good. So make sure that you evaluate things fully and you know everything. And if you're not being treated right, why would you ever expect them to think that you need to treat people right to get to where they think you want to be? Alright, so that's enough on that. Now, we'll talk about some more things later.